Do you feel shame, guilt, and self-judgment for engaging in binge eating? Do you feel like you're unworthy, not good enough, and untrustworthy for engaging in binge eating? My friends and my peers, I'm here to say that the problem is not with you. The problem is with the culture. My name is Jessica Scalzo with Compassionate Peer Counseling. That's right, the problem is with the culture. We live in a culture and a society where bodies are disposable. Bodies are expendable. A great example is happening right now with COVID-19. 180,000 people dead in this country, all at the name of having a good economy. We're seeing clearly before our eyes that profit is more important than lives. We internalize this. We're also seeing very clearly that in the name of law and order, police are terrorizing and murdering Black people. We are seeing how disposable Black people are in our society. This is painful. All of us are knowing in our bones. We're disposable. Profit is much more important. How are we going to sit calmly and eat exactly what we need without engaging in some sort of coping mechanisms when we feel that this society is uncaring? What about food insecurity? So much profit is going to the few that the many don't have enough money to even have enough food. How can we get exactly what we need if we're facing food insecurity? In my eyes, we need to do what Public Enemy said, fight the power. Unfortunately, systems aren't changing overnight. So in the meantime, I have 7 ways to push back against a diet culture message that binge eating is wrong. Number 1. Counter the cultural message. There's nothing wrong with binge eating. I remember when I was in therapy and I was telling my therapist about a binge episode that I had just had and how painful it was and how terrible I felt. And she said, so what? So what if you engage in binge eating? Big deal. That blew my mind. She said, why are you going to heap more pain on top of the pain you're already feeling from binge eating? Are you just going to keep beating yourself up and heaping pain on top of pain? That was life-changing. And now I have a counter message to my original belief that binge eating was bad. There's nothing wrong with it. And now you have a counter message too. Number 2, there's a reason. There's a reason you're engaging in binge eating. Whether you know what the reason is or you don't is not important. What's important is to know that there is a reason. Your body is wise, and your body will tell you why when you are able to receive the message. The most important thing is to come back to the present, be here now with your body, giving it as much kindness and compassion as you possibly can, because this helps you to be more trusting of your body. And when you're more trusting of your body, you can receive the messages that it's giving you. Number 3, you're not a bad person. Binge eating is not a moral issue. There's nothing moral or immoral about it. It's just eating. If you ask me, it's a miracle issue. It's a miracle that the body is keeping us alive with binge eating. A lot of times binge eating is happening because people are restricting food, and the body doesn't know the difference between restriction and famine. And when it doesn't get enough food, it does whatever it has to do to get enough food. Another way that binge eating shows up is because it's a coping mechanism. We know, again, that we're disposable in this society. That is painful. One way to cope with this is binge eating. And if binge eating is the one thing that's keeping us moving forward, that's keeping us able to take care of ourselves, then that also is keeping us alive. And in my eyes, that's a miracle. Number 4, everyone binge eats from time to time. Why are you any worse than anybody else? Binge eating can be as simple as eating a cookie because someone feels anxious or they feel bored. It can be as simple as just numbing out in front of the TV and eating a whole bag of chips. Lots of people do that. It can be eating 5 pizzas, 2 gallons of ice cream, maybe a jar of peanut butter. Binge eating exists on a spectrum. One place on the spectrum isn't any better or worse than any other place on the spectrum. Number 5, it's part of the recovery process. I know I had this vision too. Recovery was gonna be like this gradual incline, and I would never go backwards. That was just a thought. In reality, binge eating is all over the place. It's a roller coaster. You're on the ride. Binge eating is just part of that ride. In life, things aren't just so smooth like this. Things come together and they fall apart. They come together and they fall apart. That's the way life is. Number 6, this goes with number 5. I'm right where I need to be on my recovery journey. You're on the path. This is it. If the roller coaster is part of the path, enjoy the ride on the roller coaster. The most important thing is not to beat yourself up, to come back to the present moment, be here with your body in its pain and in its joys and in its sorrows, taking care of it and developing self-compassion for yourself. Because what you're doing is you're developing this inner caretaker that will be able to caretake for you and soothe you through difficult times, so that binge eating seems less and less attractive. It becomes more attractive to rely on your own compassion. Number 7, point to the real problem. Diet culture loves that we're taking all of this attention and scrutiny and judgment and placing it back on ourselves. Because what's happening is diet culture is escaping the scrutiny itself. So instead, what we need to do is take all this energy and all this attention that we're heaping on ourselves and turn it around and point it right back at diet culture. Put diet culture under the microscope. Put diet culture under critical analysis. If we do, diet culture will not survive. With these 7 tools to push back against diet culture and a diet culture that says binge eating is wrong, I am offering you a chance to fight the power in yourself and also step into your own power. When you do this, you will also be working on your recovery on the way. You'll be stepping into your liberation and your authenticity. If you do it, somebody else will notice, and you never know what you might start. Thank you for watching, and take care.